done. It's done. It's done. It's done. Alright. A lot of work done. Alright. Oh shoot, it's on. Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in. I'm Executor Bubbles, bringing you another episode of Wonderful Wednesdays. Now, I am super happy, like ecstatic happy that, we all survived Hurricane Douglas. We gotta thank the Hawaiian gods for saving us again. Like, I think this was the closest hurricane that almost hit landfall since like a long time ago. But, I'm glad that everybody's safe. We're all good. But, I'm actually super happy that I have electricity and internet again. I'm not sure if you guys saw my Instagram post, but yeah, something happened. We had like an electrical fire in this building over here in the middle of metropolitan Honolulu. And somehow we lost all of our power for like a few days. And that was crazy. It was like, kind of going back to the Flintstones. Definitely a fun experience. Well, not fun experience. Exciting experience. Never a dull moment, right? But anyway, since we got a lot of catching up to do, let's bring up our good friend, Norbert the Munster. Norbert. Norbert. Let's give it another second. Yeah. So I don't know. He should be jumping on the program today, guys, but I guess he's not here. Norbert. Anyway, so moving on, that guy, late again. This weekend I was thinking of, during the quarantine and stuff, how I start to pivot and adapt my own businesses to be ready for a post-COVID landscape, I guess, so that my businesses could be relevant for today. But in thinking that, I think I'm going to double down on not just things that will make me relevant for the now, but things that have really helped me grow my businesses over the years. And it comes down to like just a few fundamental things. And when I break it down, it's not anything really wild or crazy. It's achievable by anybody, whether you're an individual, a student, a professional, like whatever you're doing, business owner. It just comes down to some fundamental things. I think so. And I'll share these with you guys today. But fortunately, I was able to pick out a few of these elements so that it's easier for you guys to digest. And we'll see them in some of the stories that we go through this week. So since it seems like Norbert's still running a little late, I want to be considerate of all your time. So let's get right into it with the stories.
Everyday heroes.
Our first story today takes us out to a small town out in Boston, Massachusetts, where a young man's video went viral after he visited an antique shop. Let's take a look at this clip on what makes this young man one of our everyday heroes this week.
It all started with this moment. At the remarkable Cleanouts Antique Shop in Norwood, Massachusetts. This young man asking a worker if he could play the piano that was for sale. She said, of course, and then started filming. Journeys don't stop believing. That worker said everyone in the store suddenly stopped.
Just shot that short video and posted it on our Facebook page as a feel-good story, and it just blew up. People wanted to buy it for him, and who was he? And I didn't know who he was because he was just gone.
That community then helped track down that young piano man, 23-year-old architecture student John Capron, and the shop owner, Mark Waters, invited him back.
Everybody's like, who is this man? And I was like, that's me.
It turns out the piano man is self-taught, and that owner had a surprise.
See if you like this piano a little better.
Giving him not that old piano, but a new one, a $3,000 Steinway.
How does it feel?
It's amazing. The weight of the keys is perfect. I cannot turn that down. I definitely cannot turn that down. This will be the first piano I've ever owned.
To see him cry made me cry. I mean, I wish I could do this every day. Come on, we could do this again tomorrow.
This is John playing his new piano. John Legend's All of Me. And tonight here,
Hi, David Muir.
the shop owner on why he did it.
To me, it's just a piano. To this gentleman, it was a new way of life. Somebody's going to tune it for him. Somebody's going to refinish it for him.
And that young piano man, John, grateful.
Hi, David. It was very shocking. It was very surprising. And I'm just so happy that I actually made a difference. And I'm glad that during this time that I can make people smile and I can make people happy.
John Archer, best of luck to you out there at architecture school. You've got a great head on your shoulders and an amazing attitude. Keep it up, bro. But guys, let's take a look to see if Norbert's back with us. Cue it, guys. Hey Norbert, there you go,
What's up?
finally. Remember what I told you last time, dude? Early is on time, and on time is late.
Sup, Bubbles? My bad. I said
What?
Hawaiian time, that's why.
How come you're talking pigeon today, dude?
Oh, bruh. How come you're jealous,
brother
bro?
man. I was born and raised over here too, okay?
Okay, you stop that.
What?
That's just wrong. Stop.
Okay, you know, I'm still a local boy out here in Hawaii, you know?
Hey, Bubbles. So, you're telling me to be considerate of my time, but you still have that super long intro. Why?
So, yeah. You know, I was working on a new one that's like a little bit shorter and maybe like quicker and all that kind of stuff and not as boring. But, like, I lost power in the middle of it when I was doing all that stuff and... yeah. I'll work it out later. Guys, please don't forget to save your work. You know, if you have Adobe Premiere Pro and you're using Creative Suite and all that kind of stuff, save it to the cloud as well. That'll probably save you some headache. I lost a whole bunch of work.
Nope.
Yeah. But anyway, Norbert, did you see that clip? That architecture student was self-taught, you know, and he has the best attitude. You know, he's so grateful just to bring a smile to people's faces with his music. That's a good attitude. And he's a good example, you know, good man to his peers.
The shop owner was pretty awesome too, bro. I mean, he gave him a whole new piano. Whole new one.
You know, he was super generous, and generosity is definitely one of those things that can show the size of your heart. But did you see how elated and genuine Mr. Waters was? I think that was more important.
Who's that? Huh?
Dude, that's the shop owner. Come on, man, pay attention.
What? You're so mean, bro.
My bad, dude. I mean, you know how I am. You know, I'm kind of like go get it done kind of guy, high intensity and stuff, and it gets worse when I have ADHD. Did you have your coffee?
Yep.
Like, coffee helps me with everything. If I have coffee, I'm very pleasant.
BS. Anyway, so what about Mr. Waters?
Well, yeah. So, anyway, he's such a genuine guy. You know, both John and Mr. Waters are great examples of, you know, that amazing good energy that really helps to lift everyone around them up. Like, I picked
Just
this
like me.
story because I think it's especially important during these crazy times to remind ourselves to be good people, you know? There's so many good people out there, and a lot of times people just get caught up in it, you know? So they forget. But, you know, I think everybody needs reminders, and that's why, you know, for me, I always say this is why staying around other positive people is so important to your health and your life.
Yeah, they say you're like your 5 closest friends, right?
Yep. And that's why I like to surround myself with good people, you know? Like you know, right?
Oh, thanks, man. 2020 has been really the pits. This week's the end of the PUA. 2020 is kind of like eating a lemon. It's sweet, but you want more. And then, BAM!
Oh, it's worse than faces. Oh my god, that is hilarious. It's worth every minute just for that. Oh my god. That's worth the price of admission right there.
Oh man, that's classic. That little girl's expression is my face when I watch the evening news expecting something good. Like no COVID cases or something like that.
Yeah, Bubbles. It's really the pits this year. We need more good news.
Yeah, sounds good, bro. So, anyway, our next story is going to take us out to New York. You know, it might not be everyone's cup of tea, so if it's not for you, feel free to skip ahead. But I think it's a
Okay.
good story about, you know, how one ex-convict has
What?
not just only turned his life around, but he helped bring others up around him. You know, I think that's amazing. That's uplifting, and that's leadership. Let's take a look.
At 11, I started, smoking weed, and at 13, I started dealing for people. I was arrested 9 times for running a huge drug delivery service in New York City. I had no idea that I was going to start a fitness business. Main street media always depicts somebody that's been incarcerated as like a killer, predator. I really want to change that perception.
But the idea for his bodyweight boot camp started with a routine medical exam in prison that turned heavy pretty quickly.
They sat me down and they said my cholesterol levels were in dangerous levels. And they said, if you continue living this lifestyle, within 5 years, I could catch a heart attack. That took me back. I went out to the prison yard. I started running laps, going back to my prison cell, doing calisthenic workouts exactly the way we do here. And then I eventually lost 70 pounds in 6 months. And I caught the eyes of other inmates, and I started just training them, and we started building a camaraderie in the prison yard. And combined, they lost over 1,000 pounds combined.
Fast forward to Cos's life now, and it starts to sound a little like a good movie, doesn't it? Guy turns his body and life around and opens a boutique gym just blocks away from where he sold drugs as a teen. But that's not all that this is. There's something deeper going on at ConBody that has nothing to do with fitness. It starts when you're greeted at the front desk by an ex-con, and when you enter the studio for class, also taught by an ex-con. In fact, all but a few of these employees have done some time, which isn't an accidental hiring practice. It's actually a way to start a conversation about a bigger issue, prison reform.
The people that I hung out with and the people that I trusted were people that have been incarcerated. It became the mission, because I saw and I felt the pain of me coming out, not being hired, struggling to make ends meet.
The job market for a former felon isn't exactly friendly, with unemployment rates 5 times higher than the rest of the population.
Basically, out of desperation, I had to make money some way, somehow, and I didn't want to do it in a negative way. And I saw that the people who are coming out of prison were dealing with the same thing.
I had taken the test for Con Edison, and I'm not trying to disrespect Con Ed, but I passed the test, and he was like, look, dude, I'm gonna be honest with you, they're not gonna hire you. Due to your record.
I was cleaning toilets and making beds and all this other stuff off the books, but it was $8 an hour, and I couldn't, provide for my son and my family with that.
A lot of times, these men and women are also playing catch up in other aspects of life that we might just take for granted.
We got people that have done 10 to 27 years. We got one guy that went in 1991 and came out, 2018. And imagine he didn't even have a beeper. He went in at 16. Imagine coming out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. It's like Flintstones meeting the Jetsons. And so we have to sit down with individuals, help them readapt. We also have a ConBody house where we're housing individuals who need, a place to stay. For a while, that was a struggle for us, that we, people that I was hiring were homeless, and they were sleeping in the studio. There was times where I had, people who sleeping, I had 4 air mattresses in here, and at 5 a.m. I'm deflating them, right before class. It's way more than just hey, we're finding a trainer, put him on front of the class, let's start training. We have a 0 recidivism rate, so that means nobody has gone back into the prison system since I've hired them. And it's, I think, because it's a community built by us, and it's for us.
I just see myself being somewhere and being he's been arrested 30 times, and having to explain that. And here, I don't have to explain anything. It's that's what I did. It's not who I am. Surrounding yourself with positive people when you get out of your situation, who don't care about what you did, they care about where you're going and where you want to go. Like that's a big part.
What Costa's created with Calm Body is an opportunity, and not just for his employees, but for the people who take his classes. He wants to get out a larger message about perception, about how you and I look at ex-cons, or how they restart their lives, or even more importantly, how we see them as humans.
We'll have like 60, 70 people here, and having them ask questions about how is prison, what can they do to help?
We live in a progressive city, you know, social justice is a big thing right now, and they're about giving people a chance.
A lot of people come in here for the first time, they're scared, they don't know what they're getting into, but when they come in here and just have fun and joke around and they see that we're just actually just regular human beings, restarts changing that whole perception.
You know, in my life, I just would never encounter some of these guys, you know, and you get to hear what their struggles were and how far they've come, and it's really amazing to see their progress and be a part of it. I think I've learned about second chances, that everyone deserves one, and look what you can do when you're given one, and I think all the guys that work here are an example of that.
For so long, I feel like people think that people that have been incarcerated are not smart, you know, and they're dumb and they're dangerous and we shouldn't have them in society. And I want to really like change that.
You know, yes, they are ex-convicts, but Cosmart's attitude was impressive. You know, he got out, he faced his challenges, and he was able to find an elegant solution without turning back to his old ways. You know, he took it a step further too, and he helped others with a similar problem. Don't you think that's pretty great?
I don't know, man. I'd be worried to go work out with them.
Yeah, but, you know, that's exactly what he's trying to do. He's trying to bring that human element back, you know, and I think that's really important. But don't get me wrong, you know, ex-convicts, they've definitely done stuff. But some of them, maybe a lot of them, maybe not a lot of them, I don't know. But I'm sure a whole bunch of them want to integrate back into society, you know, to spend time with their loved ones and their families and stuff. Is it easy? Sure doesn't look like it. So, you know, I think what he's doing for the other inmates and stuff, and especially the community, is really amazing.
Yeah, Bubbles. Not to go back to his old ways must have been a hard choice. That guy was killing it.
You know, I'm sure it wasn't. But good on him. You know, he figured it out for himself. He's helping others who face similar problems. And, you know, he's helping to change the perception of ex-convicts in the city, you know? And, you know, maybe some of them are trying to turn their lives around too. And that's cool. Good man, I'd say. Cosmart, you're a good man. Good man in my book, bro. Keep it up.
I don't know, Bubbles. He be wildin'. Wildin'.
Yeah, indeed, bro. But yeah, so our last story today is my favorite story, you know. True integrity is not cheap and cannot be bought. So let's go and see what a man of character truly looks like.
Okay.
Let's do it. Two longtime friends have made good on a lottery promise that was sealed with a handshake nearly 3 decades ago. So back in 1992, Tom Cook and Joe Feeney agreed that if either one of them hit the lottery jackpot, they'd split that right down the middle. So when Tom won a $22 million Powerball prize, he didn't hesitate to honor the agreement.
Split it. So we buy every week and, you know,
and
not really thinking it would happen.
That happened many years ago. It just kind of continued.
Almost 20, I think.
Handshake's a handshake, man.
Handshake's a handshake. They took the cash payout, so each friend gets under $6 million after taxes. If you're wondering, Joe was already retired, and Tom just gave us 2 weeks' notice. Bye-bye.
Yep. That's definitely my favorite video.
Bubbles, why? All you do is hit the Powerball.
Would you give me $6 million if you hit the Powerball for $22 million?
Nope.
See?
But I didn't promise you.
And if you did?
Nope.
See? You know, I feel like I'm showing my age because I'm a little bit old school, but
Teaser.
I'm a firm believer like
Boomer.
Your word is your bond. You know, especially among men. I'm not trying to be like sexist or whatever, but you know, it shows your integrity. It shows your character. Tim Cook, you're a good man, man. Very, very good. And you know, I hope more people can follow that kind of example. You know, Norbert, don't you think so? I think we need to bring it back to the old school.
Old school's old, but old school is legit.
legit indeed. But thank you guys all for watching all the way to the end of this video. You know, like, this channel and all that we cover each week highlights all of you guys out there, the good people in this world. And if you didn't get it from my 3 stories this week, you know, my business growth and things like that, it really comes down to 3 fundamental things. And maybe it's like 5 or 6, but kindness and generosity. You know, I believe what goes around comes around. You know, put out that good energy into the world, and you know, don't expect anything, and maybe it'll come back later. Leadership and perseverance. You know, especially as a business owner, it gets tough sometimes, really tough. But that's where it comes from perseverance. You know, take breaks when you have to and stuff, and don't give up.
I like breaks.
And the most important, you know, is integrity. Yeah, I think these, you know, they attribute to your own personal brand, and they're very critical. You know, I personally prefer to work with these kinds of people that share similar values like that.
Of course.
It ultimately saves you from headaches and misunderstandings and stuff later. But integrity, I think, is one of the most important things that has allowed me to grow my business.
Absolutely.
So yeah, those are those 3 things that I think are the fundamentals to being successful in whatever you guys do.
Yep. I see what you did there. Wow.
Well, you know, Norbert, the news definitely doesn't line up like that every week, but when it does, you gotta make it count.
For sure.
You know?
For sure.
So, if you guys enjoyed these good news stories, please hit the like button down below and share this video.
Share the video!
You know, in future videos, Norbert and I really want to change it up a little bit. So if, you know, we want to kind of maybe look at segments on helping address community problems in your area out there. You know, if you've seen an issue or there's something that you think needs to be addressed, you know, please feel free to share them with me. And, you know, Norbert and I will take a good look at that and see how we'd approach it. You know, but you can email those to me at stories@ebubbleshi.com.
Email Bubbles.
And as always, please hit the notification bell down below
Ding,
to be
ding.
notified when a new video comes out. And, you know, I have electricity and internet again, so it's all good. So guys, we'll see y'all next week for another episode of Wonderful Wednesdays. And, you know, actually, technically, today's kind of like Terrific Thursday or something like that, but you know what I mean. And yeah, so remember, if you're ever angry or upset, there's no angry way to say bubbles. Aloha.